You're here, I'm queer, and welcome back to my channel. Prepare your eyes for all the glitz and glam of this doll. We will be making the burlesque queen, Miss Dita Von Teese. I've always been obsessed with Dita and I always wanted to make her into a doll, so I am so excited to present you guys this creation. Of course she is known for many things, but for this video, I want to take inspiration from her martini glass act. I can imagine displaying this doll by my bar like she's the goddess of alcohol or something. You know, she's like the guardian of the wine and the vodka and the soju and all that. I'm actually also going to her Glaminatrix tour, and I want her to see this doll and hopefully sign the print of it. So I really need to make haste and finish this doll, so let's get into it. So for this project I will be using these two dolls over here. I'm using this Barbie, this classic Barbie with a smiling mold. I actually don't know where I got it from, but she was in my drawer of heads, and then I will be using this petite made to move Barbie. I decided to use a petite Barbie because Dita is pretty short in real life, and also the scaling of it all, this petite Barbie actually looks really good with the martini glass that I found, so I thought that was perfect because the Barbie was too tall for the martini glass, but this one was literally perfect, so I was like, let's do this one, and I feel like it has more of Dita's proportions anyways. The only thing I'm gonna change is the head. So I really love it when Dita has that smile. It's so nice, so that's why I'm gonna be using this Barbie head. Obviously she looks like Barbie, like a classic Barbie. I would probably say she's like a 2015 Barbie maybe, but I'm not sure. It's giving holiday because of the glitter, so let's go ahead and prepare her head by removing the blonde hair. This is actually very Dita, you know, we're giving her a Dita makeover because Dita is originally blonde. She has blonde hair and she dyes it maybe every week, I don't know. She dyes it black. So this doll is getting the Dita makeover. And now I do want to give her a little bit of a corseted look. So by this one, instead of cutting her in half, I was like, maybe I should try and do the boil method again, which is really quite annoying and difficult to achieve. But I'm just taking felt over here to protect the body from the pliers, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap her body around with rubber bands. You want to make sure you put a lot of rubber bands in there, like a lot. And the more industrial rubber bands it is, the better because it's stronger, because we are going to be dipping the entire body into boiling water. Now I'm going to go ahead and prepare a pot of water. And again, we're gonna fill it up with water and wait for it to boil. And I try to be careful with this one. Try not to move too many of the joints because it can actually make it too loose. So just make sure you put in the body in there. The main thing that we need to submerge is obviously the torso. We need to soften the plastic. So yeah. I'm not giving her a ultimate crazy waist. I'm just giving her a little bit more of a cinched waist because she is known for corseting as well. I'm just taking my epoxy sculpt over here and I'm mixing both parts together, and I'm gonna give her a little bit more of a hip. I'm trying not to exaggerate anything about this doll just because obviously I do want it to look realistic to Miss Dita Von Teese. So towards the back I'm also giving her a little bit more of a butt. Just because that is kind of like a highlight also of the, it's gonna be featured heavily as well. I want to give her torso a little bit more of a push, if you know what I mean. So I'm just taking my epoxy sculpt again and I'm just giving her that highlight. And after everything is cured and sanded, remember I always sand all of my epoxy sculpt projects, let's go ahead and color match it. And this one is pretty difficult, but I do my best to color match everything. So I'm painting the torso and I'm also painting the stomach area. And yeah, lots of coats, lots of mixtures of paints, a lot of beige, oranges, peaches, browns, just to really create the same exact skin tone that the doll has. And after everything is color matched, as you can see, it looks pretty good. Unfortunately, because we do use paint, it's gonna be chipping. That's something that's pretty inevitable with joints like this. So you're gonna see there will be paint chips, unfortunately. That's why I do sculpted pieces for the most part when I'm doing clay and modifications, because usually that is a little bit more seamless. But yeah, when it comes to joints and recoloring joints, it will chip nonetheless. It's pretty difficult. So of course I sprayed her body with Mr. Super Clear, and I'm going to be body blushing her. For the most part, I am blushing and contouring the torso area. The arms, not so much, but I will be blushing her elbows and also her knees as well. And voila, we are pretty much done with the body blushing, and it looks really, really cool. As you can see over there in the back, it's already chipping. That's something that I can't really, you know, eliminate at this time, because if I put paint over it again, then the blushing will just look out of place. But honestly, I choose to embrace the imperfections sometimes, just because, I mean, the doll itself is not going to be perfect. The joints are an eyesore. Like, I hate looking at the joints. However, I want to preserve the joints because I want to pose Dita in so many poses, all of her iconic poses. So there's just those things that you really have to like think about. Now let's go ahead and work on her face and remove this existing factory paint with acetone or nail polish remover if it has acetone in it. Honestly, if you take this doll, or like a classic Barbie doll with red lips, you can probably get away with it with overpainting. Like, you can just overpaint the brows to make it darker, and maybe paint over the eyes to make it kind of like that gray eyes that Dita has. And now let's go ahead and work on her wig, and over here I have prepared my acrylic yarn wefts in black, of course, jet black for Miss Dita. And yeah, let's go ahead and make her iconic page boy hair. Of course, I make a wig cap first, off screen to keep the hair in place, and so that we can remove it and everything like that. It just makes customizing so much easier when they're wearing a wig. And you always want to start from the back of the, like the bottom of the wig cap, kind of like the nape of the neck, and work your way up, layer by layer, layer by layer. So yeah. You guys know this is my favorite vintage hairstyle, a page boy hair. I try to implement this in so many of my dolls, from Bella Goth to the Isabella Madrigal from Encanto. Like, I try to incorporate the page boy hair. My personal mini-me's have the page boy hair. My drag has page boy hairs. I just love a page boy hair, and that is because of Miss Dita Von Teese. And now we are pretty much done with her hair. As you can see, it looks, I mean, it's very, very long, but we are going to be cutting it. But look at the movement though. So Dita's haircut is what you call a horseshoe hair, which is pretty much like a it's like a U shape. So from her face, it's like a really short layer, and then it goes long in the back, kind of like a U, kind of like a horseshoe, like an upside down horseshoe. So that is what I'm giving this doll as well. So you guys can kind of give, so you guys can kind of get an idea of what the horseshoe hair looks like. So now that's done, we can finally style her hair. And over here, I'm just using a mixture of water, my metallic chopstick that I make it hot, that I heat up with my hair straightener, and also gel and also hairspray. So lots of different techniques. Over here, I'm just curling to create that vintage bump, you know? And again, I'm just using my heated metal chopstick for this one. I'm using these clips over here to hold her hair in place because you do want the top of her hair to be very sleek and flat against her head, and then everything else will be the bump, you know? This is the hairstyle you wear when you are wearing hats. Like, if you wear a lot of hats, this is the hairstyle that you wear. I believe this was originally not invented, but like, you know, popular in the 1940s, which makes sense because hair in the 1940s was really popular since clothing was all kind of like rationed, like fabric and stuff. So the only way to kind of dress up yourself is by ornate hair. And, you know, stars like Lauren Bacall, Rita Hayworth, they were all popular for their 1940s hair. And yeah, this is like, you wear a lot of fascinators, lots of ornate hats, and usually this hair style is really made for that. And after lots of hairsprays and tweaking, we finally have the iconic Dita Von Teese hair. It's not done yet, so I'm still gonna style it after she wears it later. Now let's go ahead and work on her face. Now we have our blank canvas over here that I sprayed with Mr. Super Clear. And now we can finally draw on it with our pencils, pastels, blushes, all of that. So at first I'm mapping out her eyes, and I want Dita's eyes to be the smiling Smize eyes because, you know, this doll is a smiling doll head. So I want to give her that smiling eyes as well. Again, I want to say that I am not good at realism. That is definitely not my forte. I just like to take the, you know, the inspiration and everything. But I am doing my best to kind of create Dita's iconic makeup here. However, she doesn't really have, you know, Dita is a drag queen, of course, like all of us. However, her makeup is not really crazy, like, illustrated drag. If anything, she does have an iconic, really sharp eyeliner, and her brows, her beauty mark, and then her red lips. But other than that, she doesn't really have, like, you know, like cut crease or overly smoky eye. You know, it really depends on the photo shoot, but like for the most part, her daily, everyday classic makeup doesn't really have like anything crazy with the eyeshadow. So for this one, I am gonna try and just make it a little bit more dramatic, of course. I actually wanted to bring the doll itself for her to see, but I knew it would be so difficult flying with it, so I thought a print of it should suffice. Also, spoiler alert, it was pouring heavy rain when we got to the theater, and I was in drag, and all of it, it wouldn't have been cute. I would have been so mortified and honestly so annoyed. Now that I have all of her features mapped out, I will go ahead and add the colors, you know, the black eyebrows, the black eyeliner, and all of that. We're gonna deepen all of the colors, and this is honestly, you guys know my favorite part specifically is the eyeliner. I love making it very, very sharp, and Dita has one of those eyes that can really carry a beautiful cat eye. I am obsessed. It's her, every time I look at them, I'm like captivated by like their eyeliner game, and it's gonna be like Dita and also Adele. For some reason, their eye shape just carries like eyeliner so well, and I am like so jealous. In terms of face makeup, Dita doesn't really have anything too extravagant, but I am giving her a little bit of highlighter onto the nose, and also of course we are contouring her face just a little bit, just to add a little bit of realism. But for the most part, she's not gonna have like a cut cheekbones or anything like that, a cut crease. So for the most part, the skin is gonna be natural. Of course, we are gonna be adding highlighter later because that's my personal touch. But other than that, yeah. If you have seen any of Dita's acts, which one is your favorite? I really love the Martini act, of course, but I also like her lipstick tease and also the Rococo birthday cake fantasy. For the lips, I love contouring the lips as well and kind of making it dark towards the sides just so that it looks a little bit more realistic and that the lips doesn't look flat. I feel like when you put like a red lipstick or just like a color of paint on the lips, it looks so flat often. So this one I'm just making it a little, I'm just adding more dimension to it. Of course, to give her eyes some life, we're gonna go ahead and give her some catch lights. And now it's time for the highlighter. I'm just taking my resin metallic pigments over here in silver, and I am just highlighting her cheekbones and a little bit throughout her entire face. I want her to look like she's glistening, whether it's water or, you know, highlight, everything. I want her to look like shiny. And now it's time to add the lashes. Of course, this is Lashify. I'm just kidding. This is fake human lashes that I got from the dollar store, and I believe each eye contained 6 lashes or maybe 8, 6 to 8. And don't worry, we will be trimming it, of course, but while that's drying, I'm gonna go ahead and gloss up her lips. So now let's go ahead and put on our wig so we can finally style it and like finish it off. You know, we always have finishing touches here. But we are finally done with Miss Dita, well, in terms of her face and also her hair, which is so iconic. I am so in love with her hair and I am in love with face. I love the expression. And yeah, I'm just obsessed with this look. Her lips are so like satisfying to look at too. And here is a before and after of the original Barbie and our Dita Von Teese. Now let's go ahead and work on her costume. So of course we are doing the Martini act, which means that she's just wearing lingerie. And for this one, we are gonna be mapping it out and it is gonna be glued onto her. So I'm actually using this 2-part epoxy glue, and you guys can get this anywhere. This is the Gorilla brand, I believe. But it's an epoxy glue, and I am just taking my glitter and I'm sprinkling that all over. There is a reason why I'm using this industrial glitter and not just like Elmer's glue all, and that's because we are going to be submerging her in water, you know, when she's on the martini glass. We will be giving her water and soap. So it's best to use industrial glue so that nothing comes off. And over here I'm also using Swarovski crystals to crystallize her. You know, that is her costume. I can only imagine how heavy that is, but yes, this is all Swarovski. I mean, some of them are not though. Some of them I got from Amazon. So it's a mixture of Swarovski, Amazon grade, and also Preciosa. But they all looked pretty similar in terms of the shininess, so I was totally fine with it. Again, I'm using the industrial glue to adhere all of these crystals together. I tried using super glue with this, but super glue actually for some reason eats up the crystal shine. I don't know why, but like the backing of the crystal becomes matted and kind of like dusty looking, so I thought this one was perfect for Miss Dita. And yes, we are crystallizing the entire outfit. And just to make it more intricate, I am adding another layer over here of kind of like a string of more crystals. Dita really inspires me to really glamorize my daily life. When I'm feeling lazy, I just ask myself, what would Dita do? And that usually makes me want to dress up and put makeup on and just do the extra step, you know? And now for her tassels, I am using these chains over here. This is from a necklace, and I'm just using 3 of them, and we will be gluing that onto her chest. And it was pretty simple, but we're pretty much done with her outfit, as you can see. This is so cool. I chose the chain because obviously chain will give you more movement than if you use like actual tassels. The chain is heavy, the chain like moves really crazy looking, so the chain was great. And the crystals are so shiny. I am so obsessed with it, and I can't wait for you guys to see it in the end. Now let's also make her earring, and over here I'm actually just gluing it because I needed to build this earring onto her, and I'm using the chain as well and a bunch of crystals. We all know that Dita and Christian Louboutin are best friends, so of course we need to give her some red bottoms, you guys already know. And for this one I'm just taking my Barbie Model Muse pumps. And yes, we are going to be glitterifying this and bedazzling this. I'm taking the same exact industrial glue, and I am gonna go ahead and pour glitter all over it. I was going to add gems on top of the pumps, but I thought, actually, like, realistically, the gems on a doll scale would be like glitter. So I thought the glitter would be fine. And it would be more sleek, because if you add the gems, it would just look a little bit chunky. And now it's finally time to add the red bottoms, and I am so obsessed. This is leather paint technically, so hopefully it is water resistant. And voila, our custom Christian Louboutin is finally done to fit our burlesque queen. And of course, we can't have a Dita Von Teese doll without her Dita Von Teese, like Half Moon vintage nails. She is so known for these nails, and I am, of course, also obsessed with it. I have literally, the nails that I always wear for drag are literally just the Half Moon nails in red. So yes, a little backstory if you guys don't know what the Half Moon nails are. They are vintage, of course, and they were, I believe, popularized in the 1940s, maybe 1930s, but definitely 1940s, and also it's because of the whole ration thing. A lot of women are into the workforce, so they didn't really have time for major pampering and reapplying their nails. But there is a function to it, and that is when your nails grow out, it actually blends into the growing nail. So it's a little bit, you know, it gives you more time to, you know, reapply instead of like reapplying it like right after it grows out. So this one just gives you a little bit more time, and it actually looks cool when it's grown out a little bit because, you know, your nail is longer. The moon is a little bit more circular. So there is a little bit of function with the half moon style of nails. And now let's go ahead and add some body makeup, which means it's just gonna be glitter, which is what I use for her face. I'm just adding it all over her body, just so that she's shiny as well, you know? So Dita is known for spiking her fruit and, you know, taking a bath in her cups, in her glass. So over here I'm just making a strawberry. I ordered some cherry because I've seen her use cherries before, but the fake cherry was not the right scale. So I was like, I'm just gonna make a strawberry. I have seen her with a strawberry before, not as often as the olive. I think the olive is pretty iconic, but for me, personally, I love strawberries. So over here, I'm just using epoxy sculpt clay. So yes, it's gonna be heavy, but hopefully the foil inside will kind of match up the sizing and the weight. And we're using the same exact glue. And for this one, I am covering it with red glitter. I was like, you can't have like a regular looking strawberry. It needs to be a Dita Von Teese glitz and glam strawberry. And also for the seeds of the strawberry, I'm using the same exact glue, and for this one I'm actually using gold beads. For the leaves, I'm just taking this fake flower leaf thingy that I have laying around, and I'm just kind of cutting it to match the strawberry a little bit well, and I'm just gonna glue it inside. And voila, we are pretty much done with Dita Von Teese's sponge strawberry thingy, although it's not a sponge and it's pretty heavy. So I'm hoping that the doll can actually carry it because, you know, there's gonna be a lot of that towards the end, so wish me luck, Buttercup. Now this is the glass that I found in Savers, and literally this is what jump-started this entire project. I was like, oh my goodness, this is the perfect size, because usually martini glasses are pretty small, even on Barbie scale, so I thought this was perfect. So we all know that Dita is known for her martini. So we all know that Dita is more known for the classic martini glass, which is more of like a really sharp, almost V glass. But this one is a little bit more special. I believe this is a margarita glass. Or I have seen that it's also called a coupe. Oh, a champagne coupe, I think. So I have seen her work with this as well. There are some instances where I've seen her with this specific shape. So I thought it was perfect still. And I wanted to bedazzle this actually with Swarovski. However, I really like the design of it already. I didn't feel like it needed anything extra or that it needed anything. I honestly didn't feel like it needed the Swarovski. So, but I do want to give it a little bit of glitz and glam. So I'm just taking my glitter hairspray over here. I'm just going to go ahead and glitterify the glass. And now we're done with Miss Dita Von Teese. And now I want to show you guys a glimpse of my meet and greet with Miss Von Teese. This is like my second time meeting her, and I wanted to show her the doll. So I printed it out, I photoshopped it, made it presentable, and I had her sign it, and she loved it. She said it was perfect. So, it was really, really exciting, and I'm glad to have that stamp of approval from Miss Von Teese.